rough texture. So I took a Dremel tool and took it to this plastic stuff and just went to town with it. Just stabbing the cutting bit in there in a bunch of different ways. And you know, you can move it back and forth and give it some really cool shapes. So we'll take it and move it around and give him some real nasty looking, just kind of here and there. And then you can take and you can exaggerate it. Give you an idea. You can put some pinholes in his head, like he's, you know, got just some really crazy texture, you know, so you don't just have a regular plain looking skull, you know. And for the teeth, you know, you can do them a bunch of different ways. You just got to be careful that you don't get your teeth too dark, and always remember that your teeth they cover each other, okay? So like, you wouldn't want your teeth, you want them to look like this, because they're going to go, your teeth come front to back, or you know what I mean? You wouldn't want to go this way unless you want to have one tooth sticking out. You want to make sure that they go in the right order. So you want your overspray to cast onto the previous one before it. I'm trying to make that make sense. And I'm just kind of coming in here, just putting in shadows on the teeth and kind of giving me some area to work. And you can do that a bunch of different ways. We could have taped it, but since we're working on paper and we're just kind of doing our thing, we're just using freehand shield. And this kind of gives us, see how I got some paint off the stencil right there? If that's okay. And I'm just going to come in here and freehand the gum line. And then we can come back in here thing where we take and we put the water marks and the drip marks running down underneath the skull, and to keep adding to it, we can actually come back in here and add some of this stone texture, if you will, and just kind of randomly go around with it. By the way, if you do use and make your own stencils from the stuff that you find at Walmart in the craft aisle, be very careful, because if you, I only use Createx products, illustration and all that, so I don't have to worry about it. But if you, for any reason, use solvents, you will destroy this and turn it into a potato chip. So you want to be very careful with that. And we can come in here and it's not as hard. You don't have to be able to draw all kind of stuff. You don't have to be able to illustrate every little detail of everything, but you want to give it, anybody can do this. Anybody can do this right here, I guarantee you. And just make circles, some rock shapes, something you can go in there and just kind of float in some rocks like he's sticking off of a castle wall or something. And then once you kind of get them sketched in, you can push your cracks back. Just kind of work them in there, and just keep putting cracks. The only thing that I would say that I did wrong, or not wrong, but could have done differently, is I could have put a rock right here sticking out over the top of it, and then curved my watermark so it looks like it's rolling around the top of it. But for now, we'll leave it like it's a flat piece of slate. Excuse me, got tongue tied. And we're just gonna slightly run those in there, and then kind of start putting the stone texture to it, and kind of make it look like it's sticking off the top of a rock wall. And I noticed that sometimes my little homemade stencil here gets a little too left. Looks a little. See how heavy I went right there. Don't really want to do that, but I'm going pretty fast. It'll look too leopard print. So what you want to do is you may want to add more texture, fog it in, cover up some of the white, blow some more in there, and the more times that you turn it and layer it, the more times it'll hide all that, and it'll just kind of push it back. And what we can do is take the edge of my stencil, and to kind of hide this, put a crack in it if we want. Different, kind of give it a coral, kind of a coral effect, almost just like sandstone, just really porous stone. Kind of darken our cracks a little bit some more, because we kind of lost them because we went dark. So you want to increase the contrast by darkening the cracks, because if not, it'll all just stay right there real flat. And to give it some dimension, we can take and shadow the bottom sides, and like our light source is coming from the top. But with rocks, you can have a shadow on top too, because that rock might be kicked back, or this rock might be kicked forward. So we just kind of have like a little background going here. Just something to make our skull stick out. And we'll take and turn our pressure down and get in kind of close. Give this a little more depth. And we can also grab our stencil back, because we're kind of losing this edge. And you don't want to completely lose edge, but you don't want to make a super hard line either. You want to be right there in the middle. You don't want to get too sharp, but you don't want to get too hard with your lines. See how just doing that brought it back and give us the illusion that this skull is coming off by pushing the background back even further. And over here we're going to do the same thing, so we don't have to put any outline around it, because all the outline is a break in the pattern showing you the shape of the object. Instead of using an outline, we're using our overspray, controlling our overspray by covering this up and adding more to this to make this appear lighter. So this is it's kind of cool. We can continue on. Let me see how much time I got left on my video. Who knows? I'm not even going to worry about it. If it cuts off again, that's just what it's going to have to do. I need my pencil sharpener here so I can sharpen my Dick Blick typewriter eraser. And once again, I'm just doing this for fun and to help out some people that may not understand as much as I do. Hey, I don't know anything. In my opinion, I'm pretty hard on myself. I don't really see myself as somebody that's super talented or anything like that. I'm just a guy that really enjoys doing this. And I don't really like the way that's looking. So we're going to take and we're going to kind of darken that and kind of make this edge a little more defined, because it's too blurry. So we'll take and we'll darken it. And whenever your air pressure is a lot lower, you can get away with a lot more stuff, airbrushing a lot closer. And like our other skull, we'll kind of take our gum line, and there's a certain way that skulls look, and after doing so many of them, or as many as I have, you get to know a lot about where things belong and how it's supposed to look. This is just the basic structure of a skull, and if you do it a bunch of times, you'll know it too. You know typically that where it's going to be sunk in, where it's going to be high, where it's going to be low, and where it's going to roll around. You'll get to know all that stuff. And you just keep working this around, and we can freehand a little drop of